yourself.
I'm Sheila Marcus, and I'm the Director of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, and I have also got experience in perinatal women's mental health. Well, when I think about my research, I'm thinking about the various earliest indicators of depression and anxiety in children. So I've been looking at moms during pregnancy and children in the first few years of life. And what I'm looking at is how can we develop interventions that help parents to raise resilient children. And I'm looking at, are there risk factors that we can identify very early in a child's life that might predict risk so that we can prevent depression and anxiety from developing in the first place, or from secondary consequences or effects from developing as a result of those. Well, one of my main areas of interest is intergenerational transmission of risk. So that if you have a mom or a dad who has an illness and a baby is growing up, in the mom's case during pregnancy in utero, and in both cases within the first 3 or 5 years of life within that parenting environment, how can we minimize the risk of parents' illness to the children? So we're looking at babies in utero, in moms in which there's a trauma history or depression, and trying to understand what are the implications of that illness on the baby for their developing stress axis. So we're looking at mother's stress hormones and baby's stress hormones right from the moment of birth to understand how is this illness affecting the baby. We're also looking at a number of interventions that we're delivering both in pregnancy and in the first 5 years of a child's life to try to minimize some of those stresses on the baby. We're looking at delivering therapy to women during pregnancy that minimizes the impact of stress on them and on the developing fetus. We're also looking at a lot of interventions that begin to understand the parent-child relationship in the first 5 years of life. We know that the relationship really forms in many ways the human brain within the first several years of life. That's the way that babies come to know the world, that they come to know how to be social, and ultimately how to be intimate, both with their moms and dads and ultimately with their husbands and wives. So we're teaching parents the skills that they need to be very sensitive parents. That in turn creates secure relationships with parents, which in turn really forms a child's capacity for intimacy throughout their lifespan.